Alright, yeah, welcome back to some more Magic Arena, and today we're going to be playing around with a bit of a meme. It's going to be Blue-White Prison. This is a deck that's been requested for a little while, and it's not going to be the final iteration. In fact, I think this one actually definitely needs some tweaking anyway, but it's the one we played with today, and it was pretty fun. According to my deck tracker, we have a 50% win rate with it, as it currently appears before your eyes, which is, it's alright. That's all you need to get to Mythic, right? So, you know, let's talk about Prison, shall we? Prison's not a place you want to be, so that's where we're going to put our opponent. We're going to be building around with Gideon's Intervention, 4-mana enchantment. As it enters the battlefield, you choose a card name. Your opponents cannot cast spells with the chosen card name, and then you prevent all damage that will be dealt by you and opponents you control by sources with the chosen name. So essentially, just name all of the ways your opponents can win the game so that they cannot win the game, and if they can't win the game, they lose the game. That's the idea. We also have a new little combo as well. I'm sure most of you are familiar with this one right now. It's the Solemnity 9 Lives combo. 9 Lives is a 3-mana enchantment with hexproof, so you can't target it. It says if a source would deal damage to you, you prevent that damage and then put an incarnation counter on 9 lives. When there are 9 or more counters on 9 lives, you exile it, and you lose the game as it leaves the battlefield. So, that's going to be our way of surviving. However, if you combo that with a card called Solemnity, a 3-mana enchantment from the new Armaket block, says the enchantments can't get counters. That means if damage would be dealt to us, we prevent that damage, and we try to put a counter on 9 lives, but we cannot because Solemnity is in play. This essentially is a 2-card combo in the same colors, which is not very hard for us to get to. That essentially means that damage is not a win con for our opponents. So if they are pure and simple creature decks, they are not going to be able to beat 9 lives and Solemnity. So as soon as turn 4, you can have this online. We are running 3 9 lives, mostly just to make room for other interesting things like Gideon of the Trials and Helm of the Host, though I would say if I was to tweak this list a little bit, I would actually go down a Gideon and down the Helm of the Host for 2 Banishing Lights, just to pick off certain pesky little permanents. But, you know, this is the list I've been playing so far, and it's got 50% win rate, so it's doing just fine. So yeah, Gideon of the Trials is also another little combo with Helm of the Host. Gideon having a emblem that you can do for 0 that says as long as you control a Gideon Planeswalker, you can't lose the game and your opponents cannot win the game, which means they absolutely must deal with Gideon in order to finish the game off in their favor. However, he's got another 0 that turns him into a 4/4 human. Helm of the Host, one of my personal favorite equipments, but a little bit expensive, so it's only a one-of in here, just in the off chance we can actually get it to work. 4-mana legendary artifact. You equip it for 5, so we're going to turn Gideon into a creature and then equip him with Helm of the Host. And at the beginning of combat, you create a token that is a copy of the equipped creature, except for it isn't legendary and it has haste, which doesn't really matter. So basically, we're going to be making millions and millions of Gideons. Oops, all Gideons, you could call it, if we can get this combo together. And again, we'll have an emblem that says as long as we control a Gideon Planeswalker, we can't lose. So if we've got 50 Gideons, that's 50 Gideons that they've got to deal with, all using their +1 to prevent damage from certain permanents as well. So the only thing that's really going to stop us is like Storm's Wraths and Hour of Devastations and things like that, getting that particular combo off the board. But yeah, essentially the idea of the deck is to establish one of these particular combos so that you can't lose the game, and then name anything with Gideon's Intervention that would disrupt that. So something like Ugin the Spirit Dragon, for example, can -3 and get rid of your Solemnity 9 Lives combo and win the game. So you want to name that with Gideon's Intervention, and once you're sufficiently satisfied you've gotten rid of all the win cons that Intervention can name, if you've got any spares, you want to name any cards that could be used to get rid of Intervention, so disenchant-based effects. To survive the game, we've got 3 Settler Wreckages and 2 Wrath of Gods. I've been finding that we've been going up against a lot of Boggles lists, and they absolutely fold unbelievably to Settler Wreckage, as well as Goblins lists as well. If you're not playing against Boggles, you're playing against Goblins. Boring, I know. So Settler Wreckage is one of those ways that they can mux us into a chieftain and then all attack, and then you can settle them. It's not going to win you the game on the spot like some matchups would, since they end up just rebuilding and playing another Muxus. But, you know, it's enough to maybe buy us a turn so that we can find our Solemnity 9 lives combo, because if you have this established against goblins, they also cannot win. They have no way of dealing with enchantments. Other than that, though, got a package to make sure we can get there. We got Mind Stone, so that we can cast interventions as early as turn 3. And also a little bit of card draw. Thirst for Meaning, because we are actually quite a heavy enchantment deck, so we can draw 3 cards to go find our 9 lives Solemnity. Another reason why I don't have 9 lives is because it's not very good in duplicates. So you only really need to find 1, and after that you don't want to find any more. So, you know, Thirst for Meaning allows us to discard those as well, and draw 3 to go find them. And Solemnity just in general has a lot of applications outside of this combo as well. It's not like an I win the game card on its own, but it can actually disrupt your opponents fairly substantially in the right particular decks. I did have a Merfolk list at one point that was using, what's his face, Deeproot Elite, that puts counters on things when Merfolk enter the battlefield. Pretty good card if it can put counters on things, otherwise it's a 2-mana 1/1. And then we got a little bit of Baffling End to take care of Skirt Prospectors and any early game stuff that might baffle us out of nowhere. But yeah, that's essentially the list. Hopefully you enjoy. If you do, hit that like button. I would not recommend this list, by the way, because it's kind of, I don't know, it's a bit big brain, even maybe a bit big brain to me. You've got to have a very high awareness of what your opponent is playing in order to pilot it correctly. And I don't, so, you know, even I can't get there. But yeah, it's a lot of fun. If you've got the pieces, I recommend having a few games with it, see how you feel. If you're going to go into the casual queue, you will hit nothing but blue-white boggles and goblins, so be aware of that. I have no idea how good it is in ranked, because I do not dare put it into ranked, because I actually need to get to gold at some point, and I don't want to derank. So, you know, there is that. But yeah, I will be back with another prison list or 2 in the future. This is not going to be the final iteration. I do want to try like a green-white Enchantress build with the Solemnity 9 lives combo and potentially some interventions in there as well. I just wanted to try out this blue-white one with Thirst for Meanings and Omen of the Seas as our splash. So, yeah. Without further ado, let's get to it. This video is brought to you by the generous support of our wonderful patrons and channel members that you see here. If you'd like to support the channel and get access to cool content like sneak peeks, bonus videos, polls on future content, or access to a personal deck critique from myself every month, then hit the join button down below, or check out the Patreon link in the description. With all that said, let's get into the gameplay. Alright, we're in. We have the combo, so we're going to keep it. We also have Baffling End as well to slow our opponent down and let them get the impression that they stand a chance. We do also potentially... There we go. That's actually what I was looking for. I never finished my train of thought, but that was exactly where it was going to lead. I was going to say we do potentially need to deal with a specific card from our opponent, and therefore Gideon's Intervention is our way of doing that. So let's go with Glacial Fortress tapped. Don't think I care about the Hunted Witness just yet, but I should have probably just played a Plains anyway and maybe Baffling Ended it. I don't know. Float, unfloat, attack. Sure. So I don't know how they're going to deal with enchantments. They are kind of in, like, Mortify kind of colours. But it's hard to say how they will deal the damage. Well, let's drop down Solemnity. Just thought, this is lose life, and this says damage. I don't actually know if 9 lives stops aristocracy style stuff, to be honest. Yeah, this prevents all damage, and that's life loss. Interesting. Might have to be very careful and see how this goes. Alright, take 1. We're still going to drop down 9 lives, and we're going to experiment and see what happens. So we should lose lots of life here. Yep. But we do have the Baffling End. Ooh, if they're going to sack all their blood artists as well, we could intervention and stop them from getting them back. Cauldron Familiar for cat combo. Serrated Scorpion, sure, and let's see what 9 lives does. Player land. Maybe our opponent will just leave. Maybe they will assume that it will stop them from winning. I actually don't know. I'll have to check that. Is life loss damage? I wasn't sure that it was, but opponent seems to think so, and we won. So, yeah. Alright, we are in. This hand is up there on garbage hands, but it does have 9 lives, so we're going to keep it. Also, Settle the Wreckage seems pretty good against what I'm assuming might be blue-white auras, maybe? Anything that attacks into Settle the Wreckage is good by me, though. And I don't think there's much they can do about that. Most of their spells are kind of protection from targeted removal kind of effects. We also have Baffling End, by the way, as well, so we can definitely take care of a core Spirit Dancer if that should crop up. Selfless Savior to lead the charge. And an Ornithopter? Fair enough. Nope. Don't care about any of that. So, pass the turn. Yeah, we're just looking for exactly that. Your Doge will not save you, friend. What do we name with Gideon's intervention, then? That's a tough one. Could name, like, all the glitters, but I don't know if there's actually, like, a single card that wins us the game on the spot if we name it. It's like this board is completely settleable. Our opponent is encouraged to swing in with their most powerful card. So why wouldn't they? I guess I could name Ornithopter with Gideon's intervention. And then this wouldn't deal damage. It would stop that a little bit, but I'm just going to settle this board and then intervention something more interesting. Alright, here they come. You've been settled. Oh! Oh, my heart. It can't take how good that was. The absolute instant explosion. Their hand must have been garbage. Yeah, we basically... I imagine they have no creatures here, and they have only auras, which is weird that they didn't suit up this Ornithopter, but maybe they assumed that I was going to remove it. I don't know. But being that all of these get exiled, and Lurrus is kind of useless unless, you know, stuff gets exiled, guess they ain't got time for that. Good stuff. Alright, we're in. We have a Mind Stone, a Thirst for Meaning, and a Settle the Wreckage. So we're going to keep it. Settle's pretty good against the aggressive decks in the format. Not so much Goblins, I guess, because all they do is just Muxus into Muxus into Muxus into winning the game. So, let's just not go up against Goblins, shall we? And then Settle the Wreckage is pretty good. Seen a lot of Boggles recently, but they're usually running Lurrus in the net decky form. And Lurrus is not up here, so I'm going to assume it's not that. Breeding Pool. Alright, potentially an interesting matchup. We'll see what we can do. It's Teamer. Your opponent passes. Ugh. That's scary. I'm actually going to tap like this, not because we can cast anything off of it, but because it's got an intimidation factor the world has never known. And will never know again. I actually don't know what they're doing, whether or not they're maybe some sort of reactionary deck that's got lots of counter spells. Kind of expected them to do that last turn, isn't that why they're shocked? They always keep leaving blue open, though. Gideon's intervention. We're going to decline. We're going to say no to the Mind Stone, no to the Plains. I want to keep 9 lives in case it's relevant. I guess we're going with a Gideon here. And we'll tick them up just in case they've got some burn spells. This actually kind of lets us know if they've got any kind of counter magic, because they would have probably gone for it there, given the chance. Maybe they got just double burn though. Would also make sense. Let's see. Bone Crusher Giant.
Well done.
That could be a problem. That could be quite the problem. Maybe we've got to name it with Gideon's intervention, actually. It still doesn't stop them from casting Stomp, because this is kind of a split spell. But... yeah, maybe I've just kind of got to tick up on Bone Crusher Giant.
I don't think so.
I don't think so. I don't know what we're going to name with Gideon's intervention. I almost want to say like Chandra or something like that. Temple. Oh, Solemnity. Alright, so what could kill us? I guess it's Stomp. At this point. Because we can go 9 lives, Solemnity. This says that damage can't be prevented this turn. And 9 lives prevents damage, so if we can get 20, that would be unfortunate. So we're going to name Stomp. Hope they don't have Questing Beast, which would do perform a similar feature. So yeah, they can just play their Bone Crusher Giants now, and we can fog them. Sort of. It does kind of hover there, 4-3, but that shouldn't really stop them from dealing damage. Oh no, sorry, I've ticked up on it, haven't I? Makes sense. Curiosity. And an Uro. If they've got Curiosity, that probably means they've got the Niv Mizzet combo. So I guess we've got to concern ourselves with that. That is damage prevented, my friend. Alright, well, tick up there. Play Solemnity. Play 9 lives. We can no longer take damage except for by Questing Beasts. Essentially, so the Niv Mizzet combo, unless they're going to draw all their cards and play Thassa's Oracle, won't win them the game. And even then, they have to deal with Gideon, but, you know, they can point some pings at Gideon all on the way. Actually, does this say player? Opponent, yeah. So they'd have to maneuver it a little bit. Storm's Wrath, boo.
Sorry.
Boo, hiss. That's fine, though. Wrath of God? Sure. I suppose we can dig with Mind Stones. We don't really need too much mana. Another Settler Wreckage. It's like a Thirst would be nice. Oh. Trade a Mind Stone for a land. Fair enough. Could have Brazen Borrower to bounce Solemnity and then set up a 9 lives kill. That is also a consideration. As it currently stands, though. Don't have to deal with too much. Alright, Uro's coming out to draw them a card. But we currently don't have to worry about that. Not only do we have Settle the Wreckage open, and we've got plenty of lands to cast it, but it also doesn't deal any damage. It just kind of draws them cards. Not even going to attack. You know that your Uro does actually have the power to attack. I think I'm going to pass. I could Wrath Uro, but right now they don't seem to think that Uro's worth attacking. They might now, because they just hovered 9 lives. There's Niv Mizzet. So they're going to need Curiosity. And they don't have it. Rathu? Deal 1 damage to any target. Oops. Alright, there goes Niv Mizzet. I don't think we have to worry about holding up and settle, so let's just go for an Omen now. There's Helm of the Host. I'll take it. If we get Gideon, we can combo that one up, maybe. Have we actually seen any burn from them? Just the Stomp, and we've got that named with the intervention. And then Uro, okay. Yeah, other than lining up the combo and then bouncing Solemnity, I don't honestly know how they're gonna win. So I'm just kind of gonna go for my Helm of the Host Gideon combo. At least try to. So let's just play Helm of the Host. And then we'll do an end-step Scry with Omen to try and find Gideon. Who will have to survive a little bit of damage. Pass the turn. He has to survive Storm's Wrath, and that's kind of the issue, I guess. Is that it kind of sweeps my board. Maybe I can name it with intervention. So yeah, they can draw their entire deck. If they've got the Curiosity. I could also just, like, play Gideon and tick up on him, is it? Oh, there we go. Do I want Omen, or do I want to... I probably do want Omen. I want the Scry draw, and then the Scry again. That would be nice. Alright, let me just check Curiosity, because enchanted creature deals damage. So yeah, we can just name Niv Mizzet here. Niv Mizzet Peyrune. Niv Mizzet can no longer deal damage. So the actual Curiosity combo doesn't work. I guess it didn't work anyway. I shouldn't have named it then, should I? Fool. It already didn't deal damage because of 9 lives. So I should have named, like, Brazen Borrower. Maybe. I just don't think that they've got these cards. Which is great. I should have named Storm's Wrath, though. That way we could set up Gideon. Alright, Uro's in. Drawing cards that probably don't matter. Cycle the Triome. They are going to deck themselves at this rate, which is great. It's what we really want, deep down. Is just win by not losing. Alright, so... Omen of the Sea. Yeah, I do apologize if I make some very simple errors. It is 2:39 AM right now, and I should be sleeping. Yeah, I just kind of want to play this deck. But it comes at a cost. Oh, there we go. Alright, we don't need that. We don't need that. Gideon's Intervention. It's Petty Theft, isn't it, on Brazen Borrower? Name Petty Theft. Opponent Ops. Just find the 4th intervention and then we'll name Storm's Wrath, and then we're good to go. Officially incapable of dying at that point, I would say. Gets in, draws a card. Honestly, that might be more bad for them than good at this point. Thrill, discard Storm's Wrath. That's good for us. We know, I'm guessing we know that they've got one in hand. Womp, 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 womp. Just the constant wob, wob, wob reminder that they can't actually deal any damage to me. It's so nice. I wish it'd wob more often, though. Yep. Oh, this is so good. It's basically just slap down the combo and then just watch them play out their entire deck. That's what we're doing. Just watching them play their whole deck. I guess we'll do an upkeep scry for Omen of the Sea. Thanks for taking your time, opponent, because I wouldn't have thought to have done that if it hadn't have been a 10-minute long turn that we've had here. That's curiosity, but Niv Mizzet doesn't deal damage, so that actually doesn't do anything. Alright. Yep, the sudden realization that Niv Mizzet is a useless lump of rock over there that's just hanging out. Yeah, I should have named something a little bit different. This Niv Mizzet should have been Storm's Wrath. Didn't matter in the end, but you know, should have named that anyway. I kind of figured that it would have dealt the damage, but been prevented, so it kind of counted, but it does not count at all. That's my almost 3 o'clock in the morning brain making up justifications for terrible choices. But yeah, let's go for another game. Alrighty then, we're in. We have a hand. It's got Lurrus of the Dream Den, which, you know, according to Magic Arena is the only matchup other than Goblins we're going to go up against. So it's probably the Blue-White Boggles list, and every single one of them has scooped miraculously to settle the wreckage, so, you know, let's keep that streak going maybe, shall we? Definitely don't need a second Gideon, not at this moment in time anyway. So yep, show me the Hallowed Fountain. Thanks. Into an Ornithopter. Alright, so we're suiting up the Ornithopter, is what you're telling me. Fair enough. Let's go with a Mind Stone. The Ardenvale's a little bit awkward, because I would ideally like to just go Gideon next turn and then fog the Ornithopter, because they're probably going to Curious Obsession this thing up, if I had to guess. It's almost as though I've played this matchup 9 million times. Just give me a Plains. It's almost as though this matchup is so unbelievably constant that I know every move they're going to make ahead of time. Alright, do I need this many lands? I'm not going to need Castle Ardenvale, and might as well dump the Glacial Fortress. Temple here is kind of nice, and then the Plains is good for plainsy stuff. Definitely don't want that, we just want all the board wipes. All the board wipes, please. Doge lands. Staggering Insight. Third Obsession. Alright. So, I don't believe that they can survive a Settle the Wreckage. But they have kind of redrawn their way out of this like crazy. So, it is what it is. Yeah, just pass the turn and plan on trying to settle them. They might have like Dovin's Vetoes maybe, or Spell Pierces. They're going to have 2 of them. Because I have 2 cells. So yeah, I think this is an I'm playing around your stuff kind of maneuver and delay. They have no counter spells. Goodbye 4 enchantments. They have drawn their value though, so they're not exactly losing anything here, except for maybe if they don't have any creatures. Do you have some creatures? Call Spirit Dancer maybe? Can they win if we helm up Gideon? Are there enough boggle creatures in the world to make that a thing? Let's find out, shall we? Gideon? We do need to make a land drop as well, so we're going to Gideon fog the Spirit Dancer so it doesn't deal any damage, and then Staggering Insight also won't draw them cards. Gideon's Intervention can name Core Spirit Dancer. So I'll take that. I was looking for a land drop, but that also works. So Gideon's Intervention will essentially mean that I don't need to use Gideon's Tick Up on the Spirit Dancer in order to stop that creature from dealing any damage. So, yeah, I think we've got, like, Ginger Brutes, Selfless Saviors, Ornithopters. I guess you got named Lurus as well. Lurus isn't too much of a problem, though. Yes. Go wide. Go wide into my settle. They'll play around it, no doubt. Arcane Flight. Alright. So it's Intervention on Spirit Dancer to stop them from casting the rest. That's fogged, so nothing happens. And then I tick up on the Selfless Savior. Boop. 2, 3. Yeah, we've got to go Intervention on Spirit Dancer here. There's no way I can play a Helm and not expect Spirit Dancer to be able to kill Gideon. So, Core Spirit Dancer. That no longer deals damage. I think I've made my land drop for the turn, but making another one is just perfectly fine anyway. Yeah, because then we get to go Helm. Hopefully at 8 mana. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 on the land drop for the Omen of the Sea. 8 mana would allow us to go Helm plus Settle, and then we can, the turn after, equip Gideon up and make an extra Gideon. Use that Gideon to fog probably the Selfless Savior. Might even have to do Lurus though. It might get a little bit awkward at that point. I don't know. But this seems like the best possible matchup for us ever. I don't think we've ever lost against the Boggles list. We've almost always lost against the Goblins list, so, you know, swings and roundabouts, but yeah, it's pretty good. Let's go for another. Okay, let's have a look. See, this hand, it's another Lurus deck. I'm going to keep it because it's got Settler Wreckage, and Settler Wreckage has always won me the game. I was going to say, Gideon's Intervention can start naming all of their Boggles. Adanto Vanguard probably going to be the first one we name. So, thank God this is Settler, not Wrath of God. Otherwise we would have been in an awkward situation. I think we'll just pass with our mana open. No reason to let them think that we don't have counterspells. And Staggering Insight, sure. Would have been nice instead of this Omen of the Sea to have a Mind Stone, or in place of some of my many other lands to also have a Mind Stone. I'm just going to Omen. I don't care anymore. Alright. Worst thing they can do is Selfless Savior, and I don't think they play around that. Solemnity. That's one way to lock up the game. I mean, I don't need much else than what I already have. So let's just try and establish the Solemnity lock while we wait. Gives us something to do here, right? Alright, nothing can have counters, should that matter. There are a few auras that give counters based off of life gain, so maybe our opponent also has a Heliod. It wouldn't work there either. Alright, all the glitters. Yeah, this Adanto Vanguard name's going to be great. As long as they don't have Spell Pierce. If they have Spell Pierce, we lose. Alright, here we go. Gideon's Intervention. Name Adanto Vanguard. Alright, that creature no longer deals combat damage, therefore it no longer draws cards from Staggering Insight either. I guess Brazen Borrower would still do this as well, but I don't imagine they're playing Brazen Borrower. Nice try. Grabs Lurus. We could name Lurus. I think you probably want to name Core Spirit Dancer, though, more than anything. Ooh, Gideon the Trials. Yeah, I'll just name Core Spirit Dancer instead, I think. That's a guaranteed 4 of in their deck. And if they have outs, it's one way that they can draw into them. There's nothing in the yard for Lurus anyway, so they can suit that up. And now they're tapped out in our Wrath of God. Another Solemnity. If it was 9 lives, we'd have won there. That's fine. We've already won, to be fair. Our opponent's about to explode. I wouldn't even bother paying 4 life, opponent. I really wouldn't. I would just explode and move on to the next game. So yeah, this is a perfect example of what the deck strength matchmaker can do for a deck. When it decides what a fair matchup is and we're on top. It's pretty good. Alright, Gideon's Intervention. I really have nothing I could name with that at this moment in time. I'm just going to play Gideon and tick up on Selfless Savior. Now that doesn't deal damage. Play second Solemnity. Could go for the Omen of the Sea. Suppose that's maybe better. But I don't know. I don't think there's a move I could make here short of clicking the concede button that would lose me the game. So I'm just going to kind of play whatever and see what happens. Sentinel's Eyes on a creature that doesn't deal damage. Doesn't deal damage. I love prisons. I love this so much. It's so good. Alright,
Let's do this
what could they have next? I could name Selfless Savior, but there's really no reason to. I think I'll just Thirst for Meaning and try to find a land drop, maybe. There's Helm of the Host. Boop. Boop. Ooh, had a little bit of hanging on my mouse then. Alright, everything's fogged. I will go Helm of the Host. Next turn, I will turn Gideon into a creature and equip him, making a second copy of Gideon of the Trials. The second copy being the one that fogs the Selfless Saviors. Ooh, okay. No damage. Pass the turn. So good. Alright. Gideon's a 4/4. Gideon's a twin. Make a copy of Gideon. Opponent will regret cheekily swinging in with their Adanto Vanguard. This one can't deal damage. And this one is dead. It's just you and me. And me. And next turn, and me. And me. Alright, that's indestructible now. You got it. You got it, fam. You are officially well and truly locked out of this game. You cannot possibly win, as far as I'm concerned, unless you are running Planar Cleansing. There we go. Yeah, I think Planar Cleansing was their only out there. To destroy basically everything, including the stuff that's stopping them from dealing damage on the Adanto Vanguard, pay 4 life and swing. That's literally it. And there's no way in hell Blue-White Boggles is running Planar Cleansing. No way in hell whatsoever. Maybe, what's the white board wipe new from Armenket that destroys all permanents with cost reduction if you've got 10 or more permanents in play? Maybe that one, but that would also get rid of all their older glitters, and then this will be only dealing 3, so lol.